I haven't really been explaining my builds, and that's my fault. But a lot of people that play this should already know what things do. But I'm going to explain it anyway for the people that don't. Okay, so what I'm running with on my specializations is the ornaments, ordnance, whatever. Don't judge me, I can't speak. The ordnance damage now benefits from increase to my gun damage. So practically all skills, I think. I'm not too sure, or maybe it's just a percentage of my gun damage. I honestly do not know. So there's that. And then I reduce cooldown, whenever action skill is done. And I have the reduce action skill cooldown whenever the rip kit is used. And then I'm using the damage reduction. So for my skills though, I used to be rocking the double, you know, auto shot. The double auto shot. But I kind of find if I'm gonna be only really using it for certain things, I don't really need that. So what I did was I gave myself more ordnance damage. I used to have the projectile things on, but I figured I don't really need that. Um, I went into the splash damage, and then I have the thing that gives me um, more damage the fuller my shield. Plus, it's doubled when it's full shield. I like having this just because of my shield breaks. I throw a grenade, and I'm trying to throw as many as possible to keep my other action skill thing up. I used to have this, but I took it down because I really don't need it if I'm gonna be just doing a one pump clip. I mean, it's gonna be an infinite clip because of my augment. Yes, everybody knows about Rafa's augment, the bullet buddy. And then I got whenever Rafa, activates his action skill, I gain over shield. I should have probably did, the kill skill thing, but I do have a little bit into his recharge for the overshield or for the shield. But I think this is where oh shit, my joint went out. I think this is where a lot of my stuff is going to be coming from is his damage increase skills. So I put that on. I know it's only 9%, but on top with this, 9% is better than just none. And then I had to do the increased movement speed a little bit because I gotta be able to move faster. But I converted mostly all my shield into health. And then I did this damage increase to lower his health. I'm also doing this one, which gives me more, ordnance damage and everything. Yep, I'm sitting here smoking and explaining this build at the same time. But here's where it gets interesting because every time he does ordnance damage, his gun damage goes up and it stacks up to 10 times. So I'm doing like 120% more gun damage for every grenade hit. And then I had the 24% chance on critical hits that I can throw a grenade. And then I have more increased splash damage, and his splash damage does 10% critical hit chance. So, with all that being done, plus my firmware, I do increase splash damage and splash radius. I do increase ordnance damage and splash radius, and then gun accuracy. I had to have some more accuracy. But all my shit gets, all my kills gets converted to excess damage, into health orbs, blah blah blah. I keep my action skill up quite fast actually. I can go from like 19 seconds to 5 seconds and then 3, 2, 1 pretty much. But I'm rocking the grenade Zerker. So I throw 2 at one time. I'm using a super soldier shield. Only because of the power play. It gives me the rate of fire and the movement speed. And the health regen is kind of nice. The air burst is a must-have. I don't think you need the toric sticky mags to do the 50% of the gun damage on impact, but I mean it kind of helps. I'm using a swarm because, like I said, with my skill, the more grenade procs I do or ornate damage I do, um, well, procs I should say, the more times my grenades hit an enemy, it keeps my skill up. And I'm also using this. This is my go-to. I'll use this for mobs, but this is my go-to for like bossing and everything. My buddy Porky. Man, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never found a gun like this, to be honest. But I duplicated the shit out of it. And then I just rock sticky and other kind of stuff for like mobs and stuff. And this is just a slot I'm holding for a duplication. And this, I just, I switch back and forth between my stickies and stuff like that. But yeah, I got a few different variants of some other guns and stuff. But let's go test out the build. Let's go test out the build.
You're really gonna hate this.
Let's go see what it can do. I'm not on true mode right now either, by the way.
Well, look what crawled out of
I'm
the
just
shore.
on the regular old Vault Hunter. Should probably put it on true mode because it might make it a little harder. Okay, so you seen my thing was at 10, right? I'm gonna go to my skills and push my start button. My gun damage is at 203% more. Ordnance damage 101%, melee damage 280%. Then everything procced. I think this drops and it gets converted, but it don't show that it gets converted. I'm not too sure how that works, but I do a shit ton more splash damage and gun damage, and it's just crazy. So let's just go around shooting stuff, and shooting stuff, and shooting stuff, throwing grenades and shooting stuff, shooting stuff, shooting stuff, throwing grenades and shooting stuff, shooting stuff, throwing grenades and shooting stuff, making my explosions. Yay, he gave me a boost. He gave me a boost.
Reaper! Time for a good day's today.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, shit. Hmm. It, it seemed like... It seemed like when I switched over...
Let's make some
it
memories
slowed down
together.
the damage. Hmm. Hmm. But I can't get into that right now. I just wanted to test out the build and, show you guys the update. I think I found his final form with this one. And I'm going to be calling it the Infinite Explosion build. But I will see you guys later.